This is going to be a bit different from my other videos. I know you, my non-existent viewers, are used to video essays, but I wanted to try something new. So today, I decided I would make a video, or technically 2 videos, ranking all 24 Studio Ghibli films. I say 2 videos because I will be splitting this video into 2 so it isn't too long and so I can still release them on their scheduled release dates. Also, just keep in mind that all these are my opinion, so if you disagree with anything I say, that's perfectly fine. I'd actually like to hear how your rankings compare to mine in the comments. So, without further ado, let's get started. I think this one would be pretty obvious for anybody who's seen the movie. I would like to say though that I actually didn't completely hate watching it. I don't know why, but maybe it's just because I can't get bored watching most movies. I actually kind of had fun with this one. Sure, the writing was sloppy, the characters were pretty thin, the plot was very messy, and the animation was a bit lifeless compared to literally any of their other films, but I enjoyed it, so it wasn't too terrible. I also think that Goro Miyazaki does get a bad rap. While he's not the best writer, he is a solid director, and I do hope he does improve with his films over time. So basically, it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great either. Similar to Goro's other film, this one wasn't great. No hate to him, but the writing was very sloppy. Random things just happen, none of the characters are really that interesting, and the world building is very strange, to say the least. But I didn't hate watching it either. The one thing it has above Earwig and the Witches is that it has amazing animation and the character designs are pretty nice. I'm pretty sure this film has a bad reputation amongst Ghibli fans, but I actually like this movie. It has a few moments of weird writing and it may seem a bit pointless, but I like the characters. I know a lot of people found that it'd be unlikable, but I found them all to be pretty interesting. Maybe I'm just a sucker for slice of life. Plus the ending was pretty good. But the only reason it's this low on this list though is because everything is just at least a little bit better. It's been a while since I last watched this film, so I don't entirely remember it, but I do remember it being pretty fun to watch, so I guess that's all I'll say on this one. I was not expecting to see a movie about raccoons using their balls to do magic, but I guess there have been weirder movies out there. Pompoko is just crazy. It's weird, fun, and kind of heartfelt by the end. It tackles the topic of environmentalism in a wacky way, and it's pretty neat to say. I just kind of wish there were more to the characters, but the visual flair and sheer weirdness make up for most of it. I think this one could have been a lot better as a series of shorts or something, but I still really enjoyed it. It was pretty funny, and the animation was simple yet incredibly beautiful. It fits perfectly for the tone of the movie. Sure, it may not have been Isao Takahata's best, but it was very fun to watch, and it was a great story of what it means to be a family. I know a lot of people didn't like this as much as some of Ghibli's other works, but it was still pretty great. Alright, I know. This movie probably shouldn't be this on this list, but just hear me out. I liked the movie, I thought it was great and all, but I don't know, I just didn't feel it, you know? I thought the world building and animation were amazing, but I just didn't care that much for the characters like in any of other of Hayao Miyazaki's films. I also didn't care that much for the score, but that's probably just me. It had worthy themes of environmentalism and the effects of war, but they weren't as well done as in something like Princess Mononoke. I probably just need to rewatch it or something, but baseline, it just really wasn't my thing. I bet you guys are probably going to hate me for putting this one this low too, but oh well. I did like this movie, but I still think that there were just a few things, mostly the villain, that stopped me from loving it as much as the others on this list. Miyazaki usually does a great job of making his villains interesting by making them not completely evil but not completely good either. But this one's villain just felt kind of boring. But like the rest of Miyazaki's films, the rest of the characters are pretty great. The world is amazing and the animation is perfect. It's fun to watch and the romance is cute. but it's just not as much of my thing as some of the other films on this list. Porco Rosso is a strange film about war and fascism, but it's a good one. I think I've called every other Ghibli film fun so far, but I do really mean it for all of them, and especially this one. Its characters are all pretty interesting, especially the main one, and the third act is especially fun, and it makes up for most of the problems with the film. And that's all I really have to say about it. Ponyo was a bit of a mess, I'll admit, but literally everything else in the movie makes up for it. It's cute, it's fun, it's heartfelt. The character designs are absolutely amazing in this. I think Fujimoto's actually takes a spot as my favorite Ghibli character design. I do think the stakes are a bit too high for a story like this one, but it's a small problem in the grand scheme of the film. It's just a cute film about loving others for who they are, so what's not to love? I think I like this movie a lot more than other people do, seems like. Ghibli is very well known for their detail, and this film perfectly displays that. It's beautifully animated, and the score is absolutely amazing. Probably one of my favorite Ghibli scores of all time. I also like that the characters in this more than a lot of their other films. Already learning to be braver in a world where she literally anything is dangerous to her was incredibly interesting, and I liked how it mirrored the arc of Sho learning to love his life despite his sickness. The only thing I didn't care too much for was the antagonist. But, can she even really be considered an antagonist? I don't know. Just with all the great Ghibli antagonists, this film had one of the weaker ones. But other than that, this film was amazing. Yeah, Howl's was really good. Miyazaki's films have always had amazing characters, but these ones may be some of his best, at least in my opinion. It's an interesting world, and it may tackle a few themes too big for itself, but it's always entertaining, especially Hal. Hal's just one of my favorite Ghibli characters. I will say that did feel like it lost itself a bit in the third act, but I think that's just me. I'll probably rewatch it soon just because it's pretty great. That's it for part 1. Part 2 will be coming out sometime next week, so please be sure to watch it then, because I'm going to be getting into what I think is the top tier Ghibli films. And remember, this is all my opinion, so please form your own on these films. Hope you all enjoyed this new kind of video from me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.